Cherie Hansen here. I would invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. The advantage of doing that is you will be notified of new videos I'm putting up, and they're all on the focus of learning, growing, finding ways to make life easier and calmer and more compassionate with others. I am reading to you from The Art of Communicating by Thich Nhat Hanh, which is a beautiful book. As we step out into the world after isolation and rules are changing and changing and changing, and our concept of reality is shifting, it's very good to have a clear mind and to set our intentions for what it is that we are doing in our lives. And he's a master of teaching us that. In this chapter, he talks about beginning anew. Does that sound like it's a pretty good thing to talk about? I think so. When a difficulty arises in our relationships and one of us feels resentments or hurt, a good practice to try is called beginning anew. To begin anew is to look deeply and honestly at ourselves, our past actions, speech, and thoughts, and to create a fresh beginning within ourselves and in our relationships with others. Beginning anew helps us develop our kind speech and compassionate listening because it is a practice of recognition and appreciation of the positive elements of another person. Recognizing others' positive traits allows us to also see our own good qualities. Along with these good traits, we each of us have areas of weakness, such as talking out of our anger or being caught in our misperceptions. As in a garden, when we water the flowers of loving kindness and compassion in each other, we also take energy away from the weeds of anger, jealousy, and misperception. We can practice beginning anew every day by expressing our appreciation to the people we care about and apologize right away when we do or say something that hurts them. We can also politely let others know when we have been hurt. A more formal beginning anew can be done weekly in families and in work situations. It is a three-part process: watering flowers, expressing regrets, and expressing hurts and difficulties. This practice can prevent feelings of hurt from building up over weeks and helps make the situation safe for everyone in the workplace or family. Sorry, very hot out here. Flower watering is the first part of the practice. Flower watering is simply showing appreciation for the others in your family or your work community. People do it one at a time until they feel moved to speak. The others let them speak without response. It is helpful for people to hold a vase of flower or some objects in front of them as they speak so that their words reflect the freshness and the beauty of the flowers. During flower watering, the speaker acknowledges the wholesome, wonderful qualities of the others. It is not flattery. We need to speak the truth. Everyone has strong points that can be seen with awareness. No one can interrupt the person holding the flowers. Each person is allowed as much time as needed, and everyone else practices deep listening. When one person has finished speaking, he or she stands up and slowly returns the vase to the center of the room. We should not underestimate the first step of flower watering. When we sincerely recognize the beautiful qualities of other people, it is very difficult to hold on to our feelings of anger and resentment. We naturally soften, and our perspective becomes wider and more inclusive of the whole reality. In the second part of the practice, participants express regret for anything they have done to hurt others. It does not take more than one thoughtless phrase to hurt someone. Sometimes we hold on to some small resentment or regret, and it grows because we don't have the time to make it right. The practice of beginning anew is an opportunity for us to recall some regret from earlier in the week and to undo it. In the third part of the ceremony, we express ways in which others have hurt us. Loving speech is crucial. We want to heal our families and work communities, not harm them. We speak frankly, but we don't want to be destructive. When we sit among people who are all practicing deep listening, our speech becomes more beautiful and more constructive. We never blame or argue. In this final part of the practice, compassionate listening is crucial. We listen to another's hurts and difficulties with a willingness to relieve the suffering of the other person, not to judge or argue. We listen with all our attention. Even if we hear something that is not true, we continue to listen deeply so the other person can express his or her pain and release the tensions within. If we reply or correct that person, the practice will not bear fruit. We just listen. If we need to tell others that their perception was not correct, we can do that a few days later, privately and calmly. Then, at the next beginning a new practice, they may rectify the error themselves, and we will not have to say anything. We can end the practice with a moment of silence. Just practicing the first part of the beginning anew, flower watering, can increase the happiness and communication in your family and your workplace. You don't need to do all three parts each time, especially when the practice is new to you. It will work to spend most of your time on flower watering. Then slowly over time, as trust is built, you can add the second and the third parts. Even then, don't skip over the first. Expressing appreciation is one of the greatest ways of building strong and caring relationships. And this is such a beautiful concept of realizing that, like, I guess I think of keeping the refrigerator clean. It doesn't stay clean unless you habitually go in there and look at what's there and clean it out, tidy it up. It's the same thing with our relationships, especially our relationships in our families, because we're not taught how to tidy them up and how to begin anew and be in a place where we can, through conscious intention, shift the energy between ourselves and those closest to us. I would be very thankful if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, I'll mention that I am a life coach. I'm coaching people from all over the world right now to step into a new way of living and a new way of expressing themselves. I will leave my Facebook contact for that counseling and just tell you quickly what I bring to it. I have been studying about the function of the human brain, family patterns, influence of friends, trauma markers in the body, and the formation of behaviors that can lift us out of the cul-de-sac the roundabout, the hamster wheel. I do also bring a very effective clairvoyant channel. I can help people I've never seen before that are distant from me, I know nothing about, because my channel is so very effective at seeing what's going on in their energy lives. So thank you very much for listening. We have about 1 or 2 more days of this book, and I would invite you to share it with anybody you know that you think will benefit from the wisdom and the genius of this man who understands so much about how we go wrong when we are trying to have a compassionate conversation with another person that will relieve our suffering and will relieve their suffering as well. We need this in the world right now. Thank you.